Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Chris's Awareness Knits. That's two S's on Chris's, two S's on awareness, and one S on knits. Welcome back, and this is a channel where we talk about my life in Japan and all things yarn and all things crafty and everything that I'm working on and everything that I plan to work on, and I get to show off some of the things that I've been able to find in Japan that you can't really find elsewhere. So first let's talk about what I've been working on. I'm still kind of like working on my mojo and getting back into the knitting and crocheting scene and making sure that I'm actually doing my hobby and not just kind of like, oh, I'm home from work, sleep. Oh, I gotta work, come home from work, sleep. Because the winter time, man, it saps my energy. I just want to lay down and not get up and not do anything and just be warm and cuddled up and don't move. So a lot of the projects that I was working on over the winter break had scraps. And one of the things I love to do for scrappy projects is to make hair ties. I've got quite a big bag of them now. But I made these lovely hair ties out of cotton. They are like super cute and they've got like oranges and grays in them. And I really love them. And I got this like darker blue and lighter blue one. So I'm basically, right now, these smaller projects are what's keeping me going. Because otherwise I will fall into a rut where I'm not doing anything creative, and then I will be sad and depressed and lonely. These guys. And so as you can see, quite a few really nice hair ties I've made over the last week. I like this really goldy one I've made. You can't really see the shimmer, but it's gold. They're so like nice. They could be a bracelet. I gave one to a friend who was visiting. I've been here in Japan for almost 10 years now, and a friend of mine who was visiting from outside of Japan, we met in Japan. So she had come back to Japan because she feels like she was here for 5 years and she feels like this is home to her too. And so the corona restrictions are raised a little bit, or lifted a little bit, so she was able to come back. So she gave me some chocolate and I gave her a hand knitted or crocheted hair tie. You know, it's something nice. I've got quite a few that I have finished, because basically I'll finish a hat or I'll finish a scarf and they'll just be the tiniest bit left. Like, let me show you what I'm talking about. You can't really do anything with this. What are you going to do with this? Nothing. You can make a pom-pom, or you can make a hair tie. So that's what I do. I make hair ties. So I think they're cute. And when I get back to the United States, they might sell. Like, literally, this is nothing. This is nothing. You can't make anything with such small pieces of yarn. And yeah, you could save them all up and put them into a, like, scrappy project, like I've suggested in the past, because I love a scrappy project. But some of these are so small that you're like, do I really want to put it in a scrappy project? Or, they're so small. Some of them are cotton, some of them are blends, some of them are acrylic, some of them are, you know, how is your scrappy project going to hold up over time when you're using different materials and different thicknesses of yarn, and you got to figure out all that stuff. Or you can make a hair tie. I tend to make a hair tie. And since the hair ties are all made out of these little like scraps, they're basically free, right? I get a little thing like this from like Wish with 100 little hair ties in it, and I just make 100 little hair ties. And that's really what I do when I can't make myself focus on a larger project, which I've been having the struggles. The struggles are real. So since I didn't really have that many finished objects, and the finished objects I do have are small, I wanted to show you some yarn. Woohoo! Now, none of my yarn is newly acquired, because when I first started doing knitting and crocheting, I went out and I bought like $1,000 worth of used yarn. Like, I went crazy because I was buying people's stashes, and I would like buy their whole stash, and it would be like 5 kilos of yarn, which is 12 pounds, 12 and a half pounds, 12 and a half pounds of yarn. So I would look at the pictures and I would be like, okay, well, I like this and I like this and I like this. And then it would come and it would be like opening these great boxes. You never knew what was in them. And yeah, you got to look at them a little bit, but you didn't know what the fibers were. You didn't know, like, there was no breakdown. So I got some really cool stuff. Like, this stuff is Contessa alpaca. It is 30% alpaca, 50% wool, or 70% wool. It's made in Peru. It is so soft. It's 50 grams, 100 meters, so it's quite a, like a 3, maybe a light 4. But yeah, so I have 2 of these from Peru. They are like a mustardy yellow. I don't know. Where's the best light to show them in? They're like a mustardy yellow. They're like almost an orange. They're so pretty. And they're soft and they're squishy, and I feel like they would make a wonderful scarf. A knit one. Not a machine knit one, not a crocheted one, a knit one, because they would be so squishy. So I have that. Another thing I wanted to show you is, this is a really popular brand here in Japan. It's called Dia Gold, like diamond and gold put together. And I find that a lot of their yarn is like high content wool. It's really quite good quality stuff. And this is like a lighter brown, but it's definitely like a 2 or a 1. But I have like 6 or 7 of these bad boys, so I could double up. It says right here, right there, it says it's a middleweight yarn, but 50 grams and 200 meters is a lightweight yarn. It's like a 2, maybe a light 3. But it is 100% wool, and it is, yeah, they recommend a 3 to 4 millimeter crochet hook, 2 to 3 millimeter knitting needles. It says you need 31 of these to make a sweater. 31 of them. I have 5. But still, it's real nice. So I have that. And then I found, because a lot of the yarn is not over there, it's packed away so that the moths don't get it. So there are no like issues with wet or anything like that. So a lot of it's packed away. So I was going through one of the packs, and I found this beauty right here. It's like a roving blue with the with a green that has little like baubles and a very thin red thread that also has bubbles going through it. So I find this stuff to be absolutely beautiful. It's called Ardilla Bouquet. 69 acrylic, 21% wool, 10% mohair, 50 grams, 100 meters. So it's kind of like, I feel like that's a 3, maybe a 4. But it is from Barcelona, made in Spain. So I feel like in Japan, we're getting a lot of, made in foreign country, like non-American. A lot of the materials in the US are made in Turkey or they're made in China. A lot of the yarns that I've seen people using are made in those countries, and I've got things made in Peru. I've got things made in Spain. That's probably why it's this weird shape. Because both the ones I have are that weird shape. I don't know. But they're pretty. And these are made in Peru. The diamond ones. Made in Japan. Dia Gold. I have actually made quite a few hats out of Dia Gold because it's a very nice wool and I like mixing colors. So I might take a brown and a yellow, or I might take a brown and a gold, or even a brown and an orange and make something out of that. So yeah. Last episode, I told you the story of Daruma. Of the Daruma. And I was wondering, do you guys want to hear more folk tales and stories from Japan? Because I know quite a few of them at this point. I've been here quite a few years, so I'd be happy to tell you a few of the stories. There are so many that even most Japanese people don't know a lot of them. I only know because I've been asking around, and I go to watch the traditional, shows. Like, they put on traditional theater and stuff like that, so I go to a lot of that stuff. So I could tell you some of the stories from that. But honestly, they're better to see in person. At least Kagura. Kagura is it started in a place called Shimane, and Shimane is directly north of Hiroshima Prefecture, where I live. And so Shimane started these beautiful paper costumes. So everything is made out of the washi paper, which is made from the root of a tree. That's where they get the gelatiny substance that holds together the paper, and it actually makes this paper quite strong. So it's not like normal paper where you can rip it, and it's made out of so I've made washi a couple of times because that's just one of the experiences that people are like, you have to make washi because you're visiting Japan. So I've made it a couple of times, and basically what it is you get there's a bucket of what looks like disgusting water, and it smells like glue. And you get a mesh, a board with mesh across it. And you go through the gross water, which is made of this glue from the tree, and also I would guess the root from the tree, and also other wood substances. And so you go through and you pick up some of that dirty water and you shake it so the liquid comes out. You do it again and again, probably around 3 times, depends on the thickness of the paper you want, and then you leave it to dry in the sun. And I've done that a couple of times, and it's always been really cool for all that the water is really, really gross. But yeah, so they make the costumes and everything out of this washi paper, which is a really thick, really well held together paper. It's not going anywhere. So these costumes are like beautiful and amazing, and just the coloration on them, the designs, the sets, the everything. It's amazing. You don't understand what they're saying, of course. And even Japanese people don't understand what they're saying because they're using an archaic form of Japanese that nobody actually uses anymore. And so Japanese people don't even understand what they're saying, but they're telling these stories with their bodies and their art, and it's amazing. So if you have a chance, I would look up Kagura. 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 I would look up Hiroshima Kagura. It's just, every time I go to a showing, it blows my mind every single time, because they some of them have like special effects. Like one of them has this like spider demon, and when he's fighting the good guys, he like throws these little bits of paper at the audience, like he's shooting webs out of his hands. It's amazing. And there's like little poofs of smoke and all kinds of stuff. And this is traditional. This is the way they've been doing it for hundreds of years. It's amazing. You got to check it out. So I could tell you stories from that. I could tell you stories that every child learns in elementary school or middle school. Like they're like tall tales, like Paul Bunyan and stuff in the United States, Johnny Appleseed type stuff. I could tell you those. I could tell you some ghost stories. I could tell you some of my own ghost stories. But hey. There's all kinds of things I could tell you that I've learned about Japanese culture from living here. And I'm just wondering if that would be something you are interested in hearing more about. Because it is something that I'm passionate about, and it's something that I enjoy talking about. And so even if you don't enjoy the beautiful yarn, you might enjoy hearing a little bit more about Japan. So let me know in the comments below, because if I don't hear from you, if I don't hear from any of you, you're not getting any stories. And I have to tell you, I am a great storyteller. So that's up to you. Please subscribe down below, put on comments, make a comment, press the like button. Whatever you got to do to get yourself here. Whenever I always post on Monday. I try to always post on Mondays and Wednesdays, which means that I probably made the video over the weekend, so I have the whole week to work on things. Which is why my Wednesday video is always like hair ties. And my Monday video is like the back of a shirt, a hat, a sock. Because I have a little bit more time to work on things. So thank you for coming. Thank you for listening to me ramble on and 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 on. But I love you, all of you, and thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Now, have a wonderful day. You can find me on Chris's Awareness Knits on Instagram, Facebook, pretty much anywhere social media is sold. Have a nice day. Thank you once again.